The next morning comes too quickly. Lynn has fought back the bandits' attack. Now she rushes for the border of Bern. If she can reach it, Lycia itself is not far off. For a moment, Lynn stops to imagine the face of a grandfather she's never seen. And then some weird dude with an axe pops up in the background. Alright, welcome back everyone to episode, what is it now, 3? I think it's episode 3 of Let's Play Fire Emblem, Chapter 5, Beyond the Borders. We've almost reached the Lycian border, so... naturally, there's going to be some issues. Oh, I remember this level now. And on cue. Look at that guy. Look at his buck teeth. Look at that. He's got like the little. He's got the brow way down. And he's got the buck teeth, and he's wearing purple. Come on. He's got purple hair. He's all matching. And there's the guy, the little rat-faced bandit guy again. No holding back this time, everyone. Not like the last two times where we got absolutely wiped despite having people. Alright, if that dude's hair was purple, yours is, like, I don't even know. That's ridiculous. Alright, so meet Urk and Sarah, apparently a noblewoman, and her escort. Alright, so that guy, who I'm pretty sure we killed last mission, is going to go ahead and fight Urk, our very first mage. Alright, so yeah, someone's over there. You can talk to different NPCs. It's a lot easier than talking to enemies, because these ones are a lot less likely to kill you, so, you know, it's pretty much always a good idea. So now we get our first cleric and our first mage. Mages are extremely powerful offensive units. Oh. And now it's going to go ahead and explain this. The magic of truth. I think that might be a translation thing, because I'm pretty sure there's more, what would it be called? It's anima magic? Something like that in later games, but elemental magic. Clerics use staves to restore HP. So, Urk got hurt in that last fight, so we're going to go ahead and use Sarah to heal him. So, clerics can be useful, but they are melee range healers. They can't really heal at a greater range than one space without a specific item, and that's actually quite a late game thing. Additionally, they're quite difficult to level due to the fact that they only get 11 experience per use of heal staff or 12 experience per use of mend staff, so trying to get a healer up to the top level and then upgrade them is actually quite difficult. Now, Urk is actually one of my favorite units. You can strike at 1 or 2 spaces away, so mages are extremely useful in the fact that they can attack people over a wall, or if they get attacked by a melee unit, they're not completely defenseless like an archer. Now, they're saying that they have low HP and, well, low defensive abilities, which is true, but if you're playing your cards correctly, you really shouldn't have a mage in a situation where they'll be killed anyway, and later in the game they have enough defenses to withstand anything but a boss anyway, so... we're going to move Urk onto this mountain here since it will give him the most dodge, but it doesn't really matter since he's just going to be casting fire and getting an instant kill on this bandit. And I am going to be taking as many opportunities to level him up as possible because he's only level 1 right now, so he's considerably weaker than the other members of our party who are of similar level. But he's really not, well, he's not very weak despite it, to be completely honest. I mean, he's got 10 attack with magic, and I mean, Sane has 15 attack, but if you look at the average enemy, he has 5 defense and 0 resistance, so their effective damage, or their effective resistance rather, against Urk is the same as their physical defense against Sane. So, take it for what you will. Mages are extremely powerful, and it's just a matter of figuring out how you're going to be using the mages rather than will you, because not using any magic would be definitely a bit of a challenge run. This bandit has absolutely no chance. Sane's lack of skill is starting to catch up with him here, as he only had an 84% chance to hit with the enemy in the woods. Now, as you can see, Urk actually did have a chance to die there, 1% of 61, so 0.61% chance to die. Still, it's just generally something you want to avoid until you can make sure that your units are lucky enough that they don't have critical chance against them. So Urk's going to go ahead and finish this unit off, and I'm actually going to be sending Urk through pretty much the rest of the level on his own. Just about everybody else has enough experience to last them, save for maybe not Sarah, because she's obviously not going to be fighting, but Florina. But Florina could probably take the enemy with the sword just to the right there, since he's really the only one that's going to pose any threat to Urk. So I'm going to go ahead and move her on this mountain here. Worst case scenario, the enemy will step on the house. It'll give them 10 avoid, but with the slim spear, she's really not going to have much opportunity to, well, take much damage. So I'm going to have Sane attack here in the hopes that eventually he's going to get a bit of a skill level up, hopefully, but not this turn. This turn he just gets 23 XP. He's already a level 4 Cavalier compared to Kent, so if I use either of the Cavaliers, it's probably going to be Sane. I'm not going to be leveling Lynn up this stage, simply because she is level 7. She got a bunch of XP from that boss last level. And there we go. Florina cannot strike twice against this unit. That's actually unfortunate. But we'll take what we can get. With an Iron Lance, she can actually kill him in a single hit though, so we're going to go ahead and use that, and there he goes. Still has crit chance. Pegasus Knights do have extremely good luck and skill generally, and as luck is one of the primary determining factors in critical chance along with skill, they'll generally have some base crit chance. I could have visited that house, but as I said earlier, houses are fairly useless. They don't really do anything for you. And Urk actually got hit there, which sucks. I do not want Urk to take too much damage. So I'm going to have him back off and try to kill this bandit from... where am I going to have him try to kill this bandit from? You know, actually, I'm going to have him move to the woods. Oh, even better, the mountain right next to that bandit there. If for some reason Urk fails to kill the bandit, then I have Sane waiting in the wings to take him out, but I have faith in Urk. Especially considering he has a 93% chance to hit. But 93% chances have failed me in the past, so that's no guarantee. And as you can see, HP, magic, and speed means that he's going to be more survivable, deal more damage, get an iron sword, and be able to strike more often. Mages are some of the fastest units in the game, which is just about always helpful, especially considering the fact that attacking twice with an enemy, or with the ability to do a lot of damage to an enemy due to their low resistances, means that Urk is actually going to be last hitting and just flat out annihilating a bunch of the enemies that we come across. And already we're down to just the boss in this stage. Now, whenever a unit levels up and they gain HP, they don't actually... well, they don't recover that HP, so anytime a unit gets 1 HP from leveling up, it's usually worth it to send your Cleric over and have them use a heal staff really quickly, just to get the extra experience. Now, if you want, you can have your unit, in this case Urk, come over here to check things out. They have javelins, hand axes, and iron bows. I might actually... I could pick up a javelin, but at this point, my unit's skill just is not high enough to really warrant getting a javelin. So I'm going to go ahead and just send Urk and Florine down to the boss. And since the boss isn't going to move, he's going to be easy picking for Urk. he can just keep attacking with 11 damage. Or if he's feeling like it, he can do the 1 out of 50 chance and get a crit, but that doesn't seem quite likely in this case. And this, unlike the last level, is really just one that you can tear through without much trouble at all. It's a completely introductory level, saying, hey, it's not just all physical weaponry, magic exists in this universe and you can use it. But then again, so can your opponents, and that's where things start to get a little bit more dangerous. Especially once you start to find black mages, they're just absolutely ridiculous. Oh dear. In any case, Urk is going to level up, get even more HP, skill, and speed. His magic is remaining at 6, but Urk will often max out his magic by the time he hits level 20, so I'm not too concerned by that. And then we part ways from them, but why would we part ways from them? There are new magic users, why would we ignore them? So they're naturally going to join us, and we're going to have both Urk and Sarah in our party. There we are. Cut to dramatic music and most likely the villain. Yeah, there he is. Alright, so the poisoning continues, as do the attempts on our life. So, as long last Lynn arrives at the land of her mother's birth, Lycia is a federation of territories, each one ruled by a powerful marquess. Now, Lynn takes her leave of one of these territories, Araphen, and sets out to meet her grandfather, the Marquess of Caelin. However, the Marquess's brother, Lundgren, hungers to rule Caelin. He is preparing a deadly welcome for Lynn, who stands to threaten his grasp for power. So yeah, in case it wasn't already obvious, he probably hired those bandits in the first place. There we are, Kent is back, and he's going to be able to give us some good news, hopefully. Alright, the Marquess is going to help us out. And apparently the castle is on fire. Alright, also we've got if you notice, there's a guy in the top left corner with a unique sprite. He is going to be a bit more important in a minute here. So here we find... who is he? Well, a random dude with a sword. Luckily, a blue unit, so naturally a friendly one, is going to come along and land a crit. Meet Wrath, another pony-based unit. Oh, thank you for putting that assassin's text, or that assassin screams into text there. Alright. Alright, so Wrath is an interesting unit. He is a nomad, a bow user on a horse. So he has all of the advantages of being on a horse, with all of the disadvantages of not being able to attack at melee range. And then up there we find... oh, who is this? Just some random guy. But he's got a unique sprite, so he's gonna be important. Alright, so we're going to head through a secret passage to the throne room to rescue the Marquess. And those are the conditions for the level. This is actually kind of unique in that this is the only level that requires you to step on very specific spaces to trigger getting out of certain places. Alright, but doors. Doors, apparently a tutorial's needed for them. You either need a key or you need a thief to open it up for you. Alright, so their suggestion is immediately try to visit a house, because they're not going to let you pass up any recruitable units. Go ahead and go over here, where you will find Matthew, thief. Now, she says you're hired, but it doesn't actually cost any gold to recruit Matthew, so he's definitely a bit interesting. Thieves are a bit of an interesting unit. The thief, on its own, is a little bit underwhelming. It doesn't have very good attack value, it has fair amount of dodge, and it has a lot of speed, but the thief does upgrade into the assassin, and that is useful. So, if we pick Matthew here, he can go ahead and move over here to use a lockpick. Lockpicks, like weapons, have a limited number of uses, and there you go. Now, you can do triggers by having allied units wait on them, but I honestly can't remember any triggers past this point in the game, so it's really just something you'll be using for this level alone. Now, you do have a bandit in here, and he's going to be a bit troublesome, but first you have to worry more about all these units down here. So first we're going to send Urk to try to attack him. That would not kill him, so we're going to have Will attack him first. There we go. And now Urk should be more than capable of finishing him off. And there we go. So thus far, units I'm looking to train are going to be Urk, Florina, and, as odd as it may sound, Matthew. If you go to that house, some houses have useful items for you, some houses are just dialogue. This, unfortunately, was one of the latter. If you go there, they won't give you anything, and I'd forgotten about that, so I thought going there might have given me an item. Not the case. Now, Sane's defenses are apparently high enough with a lance that he can completely negate the attack of that unit. We're going to send Dorcas up to this area here. Yeah. He's telling you that you can increase your weapon mastery level by using items, or by using your sword to do so. Do any of these have any weapons? Oh, here we go. One door key. Now, here's the thing. Door keys are like, oh, I don't know, what's a suitable comparison to make? I don't know, The Legend of Zelda, I suppose? Or any game, really, where your keys are applicable to any locks, because so long as you have a key, it's going to be usable anywhere. You don't need to worry about which door it's going to be used on, but it's usually pretty obvious what door they intend for something to be used on. Ken gets a level up and gets extra skill, luck, and resistance, so while Sane has a bit more under his belt, Ken definitely has the advantages of, well, skill and defenses. Alright, now chests are extremely useful. Just about anytime you see one, you will want to get it. There are no mimics or anything of that sort, so you're going to want to get them immediately. And in this case, we actually find an extremely useful item, an angelic robe. It raises the hit points of any unit that uses it by 7. So if you use it on a unit that isn't very tanky, like Lynn or Matthew or Urk, they're going to immediately be more survivable. But you can only use it once, so... yeah, max HP by a small amount is a bit of a lie. 7 HP is absolutely massive. So, Matthew's pick 7 are 13 uses on them, And there is a bandit with a lance here, so he's going to be fighting Matthew next turn. We're going to send Wrath along for support, and Lynn is actually going to continue along as well. I could have had her visit the village up there, but I'm going to leave that to Dorcas. He should be able to reach there next turn or the turn after. And then we're going to want most of our units to go up this way. There are a couple of enemy units in the... Actually, I don't know if there are any enemy units in there. So hold on a moment. We'll find out certainly in a second. Kent has a door key, so he'll be able to open that up without any issue. And I'm going to send Urk up with the main party and send Matthew with Kent. Florina can always just fly around wherever she's needed. Pegasus Knight's having absolutely ridiculous movement speed. And I'll send Sarah up with the main party so she can heal Matthew if he gets hit by this lance user. Oh, they don't move. Well, that makes things a bit easier on me. Alright, Matthew's going to get an easy kill on this guy. Archers are really the damage dealers. Think, well, any class that is extremely squishy. A glass cannon, essentially. They're extremely fragile, but they have more than enough attack power to make up for it. So, Urk in this case is going to be the one to move up to take out this unit. Lynn remains level 7, so we really don't have much cause to use her. Now, as you can see, Matthew's only level 2, but he has 11 speed. To offset this, he only has 3 defense, 18 HP, and 4 strength. So, thieves can attack twice against just about anything. It's just a matter of surviving the counterattack that's the issue. So I'm going to have Sarah move up here, since this unit shouldn't move if last turn was any indication. Can Kent attack twice? He can, wonderful. So Kent is going to step on the switch down there, which will open up this next area, which is just above us, I believe. It actually only contains a chest, so it's by no means necessary to progress, and that's really terrible luck, missing that there. But he should be able to take out this enemy next turn. In the meantime, Sarah will give him some healing. You want to heal at any opportunity you get. You may think, my heal staff has limited uses, I want to save it for when I need it. If you think that about items in Fire Emblem, you're going to have a more difficult time, most definitely, simply because you won't have any of the things that you need. Oh goodness, I forgot there was an archer there. Alright, so we have Boole now, and he's actually standing on the third switch. He only has a steel lance and he's not going to move, which makes taking out his archer priority number 1, since that archer could do enough damage to Matt to maybe take him out. His high avoid chance is going to make that less likely, but I still want Urk to get more experience, so... And if you saw when I briefly hovered over the boss there, Magic and Luck up is not a bad level up. Any level where you get your attack stat is good. But if you look there, the boss has 10 defense but 0 resistance, so Urk, having 12 attack, is going to deal 12 damage twice and nearly kill the boss instantly, whereas Matthew, having 9 attack, would literally be unable to do damage. Matt's going to take another hit, which is just admittedly fairly expected. If the enemy has above 70% hit chance, you can't really blame yourself for getting hit. And there we go. And when you walk up to this door with a door key, what you're going to want to do is, instead of using the pick command, which would use his lockpick and therefore give it one less use that he could use later in the game, instead you're going to want to go up to this door and use the door command, which is going to use your key instead. Oh, I guess it doesn't even have the pick option. Well, fair enough. Now we could have Urk attack this boss, but he has a 2% crit chance. Even so, I mean, what else am I going to do? The level doesn't end until I step on the switch, so... Even Urk getting a crit would not stop me from getting that chest to my right. There we are. So he has only 2 HP remaining, and any other attack would pretty much end him. So once Matt finally... Oh, I never had Dorcas visit that village, did I? Don't want to forget about that, just in case there's something useful. Alright, so something absolutely worthless. Good. Open that chest and get an Armor Slayer, which is actually a fairly useful... Oh, wait a minute. Oh wait, can Matt not use the Armor Slayer yet? Is that what they're suggesting? No, he's rank D, so he can wield the Armor Slayer just fine. So, not everyone can wield a weapon. Matt can wield an Armor Slayer since it's a sword and he has the required weapon level. Oh, and apparently Matt can talk to Sarah? I have no idea what that was supposed to be talking about. So we're going to try attacking with an Armor Slayer, and as you can see, Boole does not have any chance to kill Matthew. He has a chance to hurt him, yes, but kill him? No. So what we can do is, since Matthew has 2 chances of 69% to hit with enough power to kill the boss, I'm going to try to get him the killing blow, and he manages to land it first try. So with that, Matt gets the experience. He's going to level up, which is excellent. The Armor Slayer, where Matt normally would not have been able to do damage, and this actually confirms one of my suspicions from earlier. Normally, Matt would not have been able to do any damage with the amount of strength he had, and the Armor Slayer does 12 damage. Now, there are 2 options here. Either it does a set amount more damage to the boss, in which case Matt would have just done damage regardless, or it takes into account defense and everything else and then simply multiplies your damage by 4. Which is what I'm thinking happens, because that seems a bit more Fire Emblem-esque. So I'm going to go ahead and use a heal staff one more time. Training up Sarah to be a priest is actually to your benefit. At the very least, you want a powerful healer for later in the game. And then we're going to have Urk finish off the level, since anyone can finish this up. Pathway is finished, Wrath takes the lead, level finishes. And that guy just looks totally trustworthy, doesn't he? Wow, what a dick. His word means absolutely nothing. Failed to inform me of a vital detail. She's tainted with the blood of nomads. Okay, so this guy's basically just a gigantic racist asshole, but what are you gonna do? So, this guy is going to turn us away, we're not gonna get any aid, and we're gonna leave with Wrath. So, there you go. And this pretty much teaches you all you need to know about nobles in Fire Emblem. They're just about always greedy, power-hungry scumbags, so... what are you gonna do? Alright, so Wrath decides that the Marquess is a jerk and heads out to join our party, which is cool. Alright, so he's going to join us, which is great. And he gives us a lot of gold from the Marquess's vaults. So naturally, we get 5,000 gold. We can use it to buy money. We can use the money to buy weapons or magic or whatever we need. So now we're going to do one more chapter this episode, I think. Lynn takes her leave of Erefen, finding no aid from its spiteful Marquess. Now, she and her companions resume the march toward Caelin in earnest. Racing against time with her grandfather's life on the prize, harried and impatient, Lynn presses onward. Suddenly, a young boy appears and pleads for their assistance. Now, naturally, this little guy looks nothing like everyone else, so he's going to be a party member. And so is that I think that's a guy? I'm pretty sure that's Lucian, so, yeah. Alright, so we're currently 10 days out, apparently. Now, we will find this little boy here. And he apparently needs our help. And some men have apparently kidnapped his sister, saying there's a lady killer, so he needs to go save her. Alright, so Nils here, as you're about to learn his name, is quite the useful unit. Starting a couple of Fire Emblem games ago, I don't know precisely how many, because regrettably I haven't played many of them. Nils is a very special unit. He doesn't have the ability to attack, nor does he have the ability to heal anyone. Instead, Nils has the ability to give another person another turn to act. It's back to Nurgle. Seriously? Tibbet was the weird one? Nurgle, Lyn, the Manicotti. Oh well. Alright, so these guys seem pretty shady. And naturally, Lyn's going to step in. Yeah, he's not going to be taking the boy. Now, these guys are actually quite important later in the game, so... Or at least their boss is quite important later in the game, so that's just a little bit of foreshadowing. Now here we go. The preparation screen. You're not always going to be able to take everyone with you, but when you do take people with you, you want to be sure to pick the most useful units and equip them correctly. To that end, there's the preparation screen. Here, you can equip your units with the proper items, you can send them into the correct position, and you can make sure that everybody's well equipped to head out. So, Lyn is nearly done with her iron sword, and Florina didn't have a vulnerary, so we'll trade that around. Dorcas has a vulnerary that he's not going to be using, so we'll give that to Will. Urk has an iron sword that he's going to give to Sane to replace his fading one. Wrath should have a vulnerary, yep, that he's going to give to Urk. And a short bow that he's going to give to Will. Short bows are sort of useful. They have one less power, but they have the same hit percentage and a 10% increase to the critical hit rate, so it can be useful. And I don't really use Wrath that often, so he's going to have to just kind of stick this one out. Now, Matthew has a ton of items, which kind of sucks for him. The Armor Slayer he's going to keep, just in case he does need to fight anyone big, but in terms of the Angelic Robe, I might actually want to just use it now, and I'm going to be using it on Urk. Now, this seems like a bit of a weird idea, but Urk only has 19 HP at level 4. He's going to be fairly tough, but I want him to be even tougher. He doesn't have very high defense, he doesn't have very high resistance, but if you can send Urk into danger and not worry about him, he's just going to tear through the enemies anyway. So we'll go ahead and save here. And now, as you can also see, you can switch around your formation a bit. Now, you can fly south and actually have Florina start taking on these magic users beforehand, and indeed, I think I'm going to be doing just that. But, as you may notice, these magic users look a little bit odd. They're shamans wielding Flux, a dark magic, which we're going to be learning more about that in a second. Now, as you may notice, you're not really going to be able to use horseback units too much here. You're going to be relying more on everyone else. But Kent and Sane are still going to be fairly helpful, so we'll keep them around. Sarah is going to stick around in the back just due to her low HP. Will is going to stay in the back as well, and Matthew is actually going to just about lead the charge into the enemies, considering he's going to be just about unhittable. Urk will stay with Sarah, and I think that should do it, so we are going to go ahead and start the level. And cutscene. Alright, so we find Lucian, a bishop. Well, he's an acolyte, a monk. There you go. Lucius. Whatever. Close enough. Name pertaining to light. So, naturally, Lucius is a light magic user, and is going to be fairly useful. If you want to train him up, he's certainly not too... Well, he's not too weak. He's not too powerful either, but he has his uses. So, there's actually a bit of a weapon triangle that I don't know if it's always explained as well, but Lucius, the light magic user, is good against dark magic is good against elemental magic is good against light magic. It's pretty... and the dark against elemental against light is a little bit weird to remember, but you just need to remember light versus dark and the rest can just be extrapolated from there. So he's going to take out this dark magic user. Light magic is generally very, very high hit chance and very low weight, so you're able to attack with it fairly quickly. But the damage on it is a little bit underwhelming, whereas dark magic is the axe of the magic world. Low hit chance, heavier weight, but a lot more damage. Elemental magic is the middle of the road approach. Nils can't fight, but here we go. So, Nils allows somebody to move twice in a turn. So, he has to be at melee range, and then he just plays for someone, and they're immediately charged up. They can use another turn, and he gets 10 experience. Now, the 10 experience is a bit odd. Well, not entirely odd, but there is a little bit of a caveat to it. If you're going to be going through Hector's story, and we'll learn more about this later, not in this playthrough because we're not going to be doing Hector's story, but if ever you do, your bard needs to be level 7 by the end of Lynn's campaign to unlock a secret level within a secret level. The components for finding this level are completely obscure, never mentioned anywhere, so it's really just a matter of luck or having a guide to be able to find it, but if you're ever looking for it, just know that that step is among them. So, we're going to send Florina down here. She can actually take someone with her if she wants, but there's 2 dark magic users, and that's pretty much it, so you don't need to worry about too much. Heinz here, dressed all in red. Man loves his ketchup. That was a terrible joke based on Heinz ketchup. Forget I said that. Anyway. Heinz is a fairly difficult magic user, 10 damage being a shaman, but considering that we have a Pegasus Knight and several magic users now, they're going to be the ones who are going to be taking him out. Now, we can send Matthew up here. The Armor Slayer does have higher damage than the Iron Sword, albeit at much lower hit rate, but Matthew's hit rate is high enough that he doesn't have to worry about it as much. His missing there is unfortunate, but it's not something we can't get around. It's nothing in the long run, essentially. Kent is going to finish this guy off anyway, and Matthew is going to be keeping the Armor Slayer simply for damage at first. He's not going to have the damage to be able to take enemies out, so he might as well have the damage to be able to fight them normally. Now, Urk is going to go ahead and buy a fire book here and a heal staff, because I don't know when the next time we're going to be able to find one is. So, we're going to be able to just move up now. And end our turn. Not much else to this. Alright, so we got like, what, 10 units remaining on the field? That's not really too many. What you do have to kind of worry about is some bandits will try to attack towns, and they'll kill the towns, and that'll be unfortunate. But if you get to the town first, then you really don't have to worry about it. Now, we do have Matthew here. The Armor Slayer is actually really heavy, though. If you look at the weight, it's 11. And if the weight of the weapon is higher than your strength, I think it is, you actually get slowed by points equal to the amount it's higher than your strength. I might be wrong on that, I don't know. So, bottom line is, Matthew's going to have an 100% chance to hit twice with his sword, which is really more of a knife when he holds it. You trade it to somebody else and it suddenly turns into a broadsword, but nah, I digress. So, we're just going to have Matthew there, we're going to move everybody else up, and we're actually going to have Florina start attacking the units down there. But the thing is, you want Nils to be able to play his song for someone every single turn. It's free experience, and it's really just something you don't want to ever not do if you have an opportunity to. Naturally, this has the disadvantage of everybody's eventually going to be running ahead of Nils, because they're all going faster than him. But that's just a side effect, and it's going to happen anyway, so you might as well. We can get that staff from Urkel. There we go. And Florina's going to go fight this dark magic user. She has a 99% chance to hit twice for 9 damage. But she does have a lower chance to be hit if I use the Slim Lance. And would she kill him in 3 hits anyway? She'd kill him in 4 hits, but it's a 100% chance, so I'm not too worried about it. She'll go ahead and use that, and she gets a crit, so she's got to kill him this fight anyway. If I had equipped the Iron Lance, she wouldn't have had that crit chance. That wouldn't have really happened. I can't say that for sure, that's all speculation. But yeah, she's going to go ahead and kill the Shaman. Pegasus Knights are great versus magic users because they're usually pretty fast, and they wield physical weapons and have high resistance. It's not a common combination for something to have high resistance and high physical attack, but Pegasus Knights and Falcon Knights generally manage to pull it off, so there you go. Now Matthew has a much lower attack chance, or hit chance on this guy since he's in the mountain, so now he's at 1 health, which means that Matthew is going to be able to move through and kill him, but first we're also going to be able to send our bowman through to be able to take out, or at least weaken, the guy on the other side there. In fact, I'm going to use the short bow just for that crit chance. 10% chance that he'd kill him is nothing bad. I see you might as well. But since he didn't kill him, it's going to be Urk's turn, but Urk's not in range, so can Matthew kill him? No, he can't. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Can Urk move where Matthew is? He can't. Alright, so it's just a job for Kent. He's gonna roll in, get his Iron Lance, 96% chance to hit, don't even worry about it, that's a death. So now we've got a bandit on a mountain with a thief next to him, and thieves' hit chances are high enough that this isn't really going to be a problem. Just Iron Sword twice and he's a dead guy. Bam, done. Guy's dead. Move along. Matthew's going to level up, which is good because we want to get him to a high level pretty quickly here. HP, speed, luck, and resistance. It's no strength or skill or defense, which are really the 3 stats he needs most, but I wasn't really expecting those, so what are you going to do? So we're going to have Urk move through here. Same, what do you have? You need to get your sword equipped because there are a lot of axe users coming up. We got Lucius up here, and then where can Mills sing a song too? Oh, I could have actually had him let Will have the killing blow with that. Oh well. Hindsight's always 20/20, so whatever. So I can just move Lynn up here, and one of the disadvantages to levels like this is you're going to encounter a bit of a choke point where you can't really move too much closer. Now, the condition for this level is to defeat Heinz, so if you wanted, you could actually go through here and just kill Heinz outright if you thought Florina was powerful enough and you've been training her enough. But that would deny you all the experience from the enemies up here, and that's not really something you want to do. So I'm just going to have her move close enough that the Our Dark Magic user is going to want to attack, and then I'm going to have her finish him off next turn. That's actually a really good level up for Sane, and something he desperately needed was that skill. So, now Florina's going to get going against this magic user, and I have to be kind of careful. I have to somehow position Florina so she's not going to be able to let him move on to Woods next turn, because that would seriously hurt her. HP, skill, speed, luck, great level up. Any level up that you get skill and speed both is pretty much excellent. I don't think I'm going to be able to stop him from moving on to Woods with any space I can go onto to attack him. So I might as well just use the Slim Lance, hope for a crit, probably not going to happen. And I'll kill him next turn. But there are no other enemies in the region that would be able to kill Florina, so I'm not even worried about her taking damage right now. He can do 4 more damage, but that's only 4 more damage, that's not going to be able to do anything. Even if he hits her this turn and then gets the hit next turn when we send her out to kill him then, he's not going to be able to do anything with it. Because that'd be 4 and another 4 damage would leave her at 2 HP. And the only hit point that I cannot speak. The only hit point that matters is the last one, so. Alright, so we're going to roll over here. Magical attacks are special. Stuff against magic. Anyone who uses magical stats. Pegasus Knights. Okay, here we go. Pure water. This is actually a good item to have. I'm pretty sure it was called holy water in the original, but what are you gonna do? American translations have a tendency to take religious subtext as stuff. So, you get 7 resistance from using a pure water flask, which is a ton, naturally, and then that goes down by 1 each turn until it's gone completely. It only has 3 uses, but it's pretty handy when you have an enemy who does high damage like that. Now, I could actually have Will try to kill this sword user, but better yet, I think I'm just going to have Urk move into range. I think that's within range. No, I guess not. I'm going to have Kent move into range then. Equip his lance, going to make things easy. Lucius is going to move up, but he's not going to be able to do anything, and I need to move someone within range of Nils. That'll be Lynn. She's going to be able to move up further. And if you look at the bottom right, this is actually just the thing while the animation's going, but Nils has ridiculously low HP. He gets a lot of luck, which will help out with his dodge stats. If he doesn't level up luck, it's actually a notable level. But with all the luck and speed, he's going to get a ton of dodge stat, and that's really what he's going to be relying on. If Nils ever takes a hit, it's not going to be a good day for him. So we're going to go ahead and move Will here. Florina's still sitting there with that magic user, but what are you going to do about that? Not really much. But Kent might be able to kill this guy if he gets a second attack. No second attack. Good. That's going to allow Urk to get some experience. Or Matt. Or Will. I really do have to decide who I want to do this, don't I? Alright, is that going to hit? No, of course not. Good. 50-50 chance. It's actually pretty terrible. You almost never want to take a 50-50 chance if you have the opportunity not to. But when you don't have the opportunity to make a decision of that, then yeah, you pretty much have to. Alright, Florina's got a couple of uses left on this Thin Lance. I'm hoping she kills this enemy, but even if she doesn't, the next hit won't kill her. So, that's alright. There we go, she gets the kill. Excuse me. She gets the kill anyway. And she's up to 30 experience again. What level is she now? Level 4, that's actually pretty good. Levels Matt, 4, Will, 5, Sane, don't care, Urk, 4. But it's a low 4, so I'm gonna get Urk the experience. Now, if you notice there are mountains at the end of this bridge, mountains take up, I think, 3 movement spaces for any regular unit, or if you're a horsebound unit, you just can't go over them. So Kent and Sane have to go the long way around here. And if I move Will right here, I should be able to use... I could use the short bow. In fact, I think I will. If I get a crit, that's great. If not, then that happens. Now, I think I'll be able to move Nils in here, though, and that's what I want to be able to do. Right? Yeah, I can move him in here. Good. No, not there. Right there. He's going to play for Urk. Oh, God, I selected the wrong unit. Oh well, we'll get Urk some extra experience. So Urk is going to go ahead and move in here, and that's actually fairly good, because we got that magic user right there. Will's going to take a hit from him, probably, because magic users just don't want to fight Urk. He's absolutely ridiculous after you give him that angelic robe. And then, I don't think anyone's taken... Oh, someone has taken damage. It's Matthew. I think that's from his level up, but... Hey, if you take damage, use a heal staff. Absolutely no downside to it, and 11 experience per heal staff use means that for your first level, you're going to be left at 99 EXP, which is always just a little bit infuriating. You get that 1 point away, you want to be able to get to the next level, but you just can't quite do it. Alright, so he's actually going to be able to hit Will here, but Will's going to just strike back. Now the other guy has 8 HP, which is going to be more than enough for Will to just be able to take him out with an attack this turn. Now what I want to do is get this pure water to Florina and have her take out the boss with an Iron Lance. I think would be the best possible use at the moment, but sending Urk and everyone else across is never really a bad idea. Especially considering Nils can just get them across this mountain post-haste. You move somebody on the one side of the mountain, Nils uses his little dance on them, they get to move across in the same turn. Or even better yet, if they're standing right next to the mountain, you can just do that all in a single turn. Now, I could actually have Lynn take out the boss, and I might do that, but she's already level 7, and that's not really beneficial to her, considering everybody else needs to catch up before she's going to do that. Speed, luck, and resistance. Magic is only 2. Which means her healing is kind of trash at the moment, but you can't really expect amazing stats when you first start the game, so not much you can do about it. Now Sane has the pure water, right? Yes, good. I could use a vulnerary here, but instead I'm going to have Florina sit on that little fortress. She doesn't get any sort of stat bonuses from it, but she will get 3 health a turn, which means 3 turns from now she'll be fully healed and ready to go with the boss. And that'll be more than enough time for me to get the rest of my units into position. And by into position, I mean just across this bridge. And get Nils plenty of experience while he's at it. Because I need to get Lynn to the end of the... Oh no wait, this is just a kill a boss level. Lynn doesn't actually need to be there at all, but she's useful enough that it won't hurt. Now, thieves actually do have the benefit of having an extra movement space over the average unit. Just, I don't know, because they're quick or something of that sort, but I digress. Which means that thieves can actually move across 2 mountains in a single turn if they absolutely need to. Bandits also have, which you never get a bandit, so this isn't applicable to you, but bandits have additional movement spaces on mountains as well, so that's something they can get across fairly easily. Florian is going to get another turn of healing here, and I think that's all she's going to need, because once she gets the boost from this pure water, she's going to have 12 resistance, and with only 10 attack on the boss, he's really not going to be able to touch her. Got my Slim Lance and an Iron Lance. I'm going to keep the Slim Lance equipped since she doesn't have quite enough speed to be able to move twice against people yet. But now she can just wait there, the boss will attack her at melee range, do absolutely no damage, and she'll be able to strike back. So throughout the entirety of this level, you're not fighting Lord Lundgren. I really hope that's how that's pronounced. Lord Lundgren's forces at all. You're just fighting Lord Nurgle's forces. And Nurgle's naturally, I mean, that's a pretty nasty name for a pretty nasty dude, and Floriana gets a crit and finishes off the level because she just wants to get the experience naturally. And that is going to boost her up to next level, where hopefully she'll get some extra strength, because this is something she desperately needs. HP and skill. Alright, I'll take it. But the boss is dead, every other unit is dead, we're fine. Alright, now, random dude just decides to carry out the girl here. And dude has ridiculously red hair to go along with the light blue and teal and whatever it is in this world. They have ludicrous hair colors and nobody seems to mind, so I assume it's natural. And meet Ellawood. He's going to be the protagonist later. Slight spoiler. But you don't really need to worry too much about that. We won't see him for a couple more chapters. Alright, so they have a little bit of foresight, which will, what would you call it, precognition? Which they can use to sense danger, so they really could be fairly useful to... God, someone just came across the street like blaring music. Come on, it's like, what, 9, 10 p.m.? You're really gonna come down here, pumping the bass in a neighborhood? Eh, whatever happens. You can do that. It's your prerogative. Alright, so back to the game. We've got Nils and Ninny, and Nils can dance for us, and we're always going to have the dancer extra turn unit with us, so might as well keep them with, not to mention they're going to warn us of danger in the future. Alright, Ninny's Grace. That is an interesting ring. We're actually going to be using that ring a little bit later. It's a bit of a weird... It's a bug. It's a bug with the ring. It's a complete bug, and it's going to be something that we exploit just a little bit to help ourselves out later in the game, because Fire Emblem does get quite difficult. So getting your benefits when you can is just about alright, not to mention that I think the official strategy guide actually had this bug as an established tactic, so I don't worry too much about using it. Now, you have an optional mission. You can go on a side quest if you meet certain conditions. Just about every time, though, they're never just going to say, do you want to go on a side quest? They're going to give you some sort of obscure condition that you're not going to know about unless you knew about it beforehand, or if you bought the guide, which kind of stinks, because they're usually really helpful levels, because they'll allow you to level up and get treasure where you normally wouldn't be able to. But yes, I want to go on a side quest here. So, next time, we're going to be going to Chapter 7X, The Black Shadow. That's a heck of a name. Until then, this has been BA. See you all next time.